Captain Daniel Wren stood at the helm of his riverboat, the Lady Liberty, as it glided through the twisting currents of the Mississippi River. Known for his unwavering bravery and sharp instincts, he was proud of his reputation as one of the best river captains on these waters. The might of the river didn't scare him, instead, it called to him like an old friend. He navigated through choppy waves and slippery bends with precision, earning the trust of everyone aboard. His tall figure, dressed in a weathered captain's coat, was a comforting sight for the passengers. They felt safe under his watchful eye. He had seen many spectacles unfold on river shores, joyful celebrations and heartbreaking farewells. However, nothing could prepare him for what lay ahead. On this fateful journey, rumors of a wealthy heiress traveling with them reached his ears. Young Lily Sinclair was said to be charming and bright, destined for greatness with her immense family fortune. As the boat moved steadily along the river, Captain Wren couldn't shake an odd feeling that trouble was brewing on these waters, a foreboding sense that adventure and danger were intertwined around him like the vines on the riverbank. The evening air was alive with laughter and music as the Lady Liberty hosted a grand riverboat party. Lanterns swayed gently, casting flickering shadows across the deck, while the sound of fiddles echoed over the water. Among the guests, Lily Sinclair sparkled like a jewel, her laughter ringing out as she danced with friends under a canopy of stars. Her beauty and charm captivated everyone, and she seemed to be enjoying every moment. However, as the night wore on, the festivities began to shift. A thick fog rolled in from the river, wrapping around the boat and creating an eerie atmosphere. Captain Wren noticed the change but trusted his instincts to keep everyone safe. Just then, amidst the revelry, Lily slipped away from her group, drawn by a desire for solitude by the water's edge. Moments later, panic erupted when a guest shouted that Lily was missing. Captain Wren immediately sprang into action, organizing a search party while his heart raced with dread. The fog thickened as they called out her name, but it wasn't long before they made a horrifying discovery: Lily's lifeless body floated beneath the surface of the murky water. The joyous celebration had turned into a nightmare, leaving everyone in shock and disbelief at the tragic event that had unfolded. The search for Lily had morphed into a frantic mission as the passengers, worried and restless, anxiously called her name into the fog. Captain Wren moved quickly, using his lantern to pierce through the thick blanket of gray that enveloped the boat. The sounds of joy and laughter were replaced by frightened whispers and hushed cries, creating a heavy silence punctuated only by the rushing river. As he peered over the edge of the riverboat, his heart sank when something caught his eye in the dim light. There, just beneath the surface, was a limp figure drifting gently with the current. With a sick realization, he called out to one of his crew members to help him bring her aboard without delay. The moments felt like an eternity as they leaned over the railing, struggling to reach her. The moment Lily's body was pulled from the water, time seemed to stand still. Gasps filled the air as stunned guests witnessed the tragedy unfold before their eyes. Captain Wren's hands trembled as he placed her on the deck, the lifeless form clad in her elegant dress now drenched and heavy with sorrow. Grief washed over everyone like the cold water that swept away their joy, a reminder that darkness can lurk even in moments filled with light. Just as the somber mood began to settle over the Lady Liberty, the sound of a distant motorboat broke through the silence. Its wake carved a path through the water, and soon, a sleek vessel approached with authority. The crew members exchanged glances filled with anticipation as two men in formal attire stepped aboard, their badges gleaming in the dim light. They were agents from the renowned Pinkerton National Detective Agency, known for their expertise in solving mysteries and crimes. Agent Clara Hargrove, a sharp-eyed woman with an air of determination, took charge of the situation. Her partner, Agent Thomas Reed, followed closely, scribbling notes as they assessed the scene. Captain Wren felt a wave of both relief and anxiety wash over him. Professional help had arrived, but it also meant that this tragedy could be seen as more than just an accident. "Gather everyone," Clara instructed with an authoritative tone. "We need statements from each passenger." As she spoke, her gaze flickered to Lily's body still lying on the deck, too still for comfort. It was clear to everyone on board that this investigation would peel back layers of secrets and fear surrounding the wealthy heiress, and perhaps reveal darker truths hidden among the guests of the ill-fated party. As the Pinkerton agents began their investigation, whispers spread through the crowd about the significant dowry promised to Lily Sinclair by her family, a fortune in gold that could rival the wealth of many in the riverboat community. The news took on a life of its own, drawing interest from both detectives trying to uncover a motive and opportunists eager to claim a piece of the hidden fortune. Agent Clara Hargrove listened intently as she gathered statements from passengers, each story revealing intricacies of relationships with Lily and her generous dowry. Some spoke of jealousy among rivals, while others alluded to secret meetings and possible suitors vying for her affection. The air filled with tension, as suspicions intertwined with grief, painting a more complex picture of who might stand to gain from Lily's untimely death. Captain Wren observed the unfolding drama, knowing that beneath Lily's tragic fate lay a treasure that had the potential to spark greed and violence among those who sought it. He also feared for his passengers, realizing that if anyone had targeted Lily for her dowry, they could still pose a threat. As the shadows lengthened across the deck, Wren felt an urgent need to protect everyone aboard while unraveling the mystery surrounding not just her drowning but also the glittering gold promised to her by her family. As the investigation unfolded, tensions among the passengers escalated, and whispers of suspicion grew louder. Agent Clara Hargrove began to piece together various relationships that could connect someone to Lily's tragic fate. There was Henry, a charming suitor who had often been seen with Lily, yet his flirtatious demeanor masked a hint of jealousy towards any competition for her affection. Nearby, Miss Evelyn, an elegant woman with sharp eyes, had been overheard speaking bitterly about Lily's fortune, raising eyebrows amongst the crowd. Then there was the crew member, Robert, who had been seen arguing with Lily earlier in the evening. His sudden unease in front of the agents only fed the growing suspicion that something more sinister might have taken place on the night of the party. Captain Wren watched as these characters exchanged wary glances and shifted nervously, each hiding their own secrets while intertwining strands of motive began to emerge. With the stakes rising higher than before, Wren felt the weight of responsibility on his shoulders. He knew that although grief filled the air, envy and greed could lead to dangerous consequences. Every moment became critical, as he sought to uncover who among them truly cared for Lily and who might have had a hand in her untimely demise. Amid the rising tensions, whispers of a more sinister plot began to circulate among the crew and passengers. It became clear that Lily's death might not just be a tragedy but part of a twisted conspiracy. A gang known for their ruthless tactics had learned about Lily's dowry, and they were determined to seize it for themselves. Captain Wren's instincts kicked in as he realized that the danger now extended beyond jealousy and greed, it was about survival. Late one night, while patrolling the deck, Wren overheard hushed voices coming from a shadowy corner of the boat. He crouched low, straining to catch every word. The gang members spoke of a plan to ambush the Pinkerton agents and eliminate anyone who might stand in their way. Their intent was clear, they would stop at nothing to get their hands on the hidden gold promised to Lily. Feeling a chill run down his spine, Captain Wren knew he had to act quickly. He scrambled to alert Agent Hargrove, realizing that not only their lives but also the integrity of Lily's legacy hung in the balance. With time slipping away, Wren prepared for a confrontation that would test his courage and resourcefulness like never before. The stakes had never been higher on the Lady Liberty. Captain Wren stood on the deck of the Lady Liberty, the weight of responsibility pressing heavily on his shoulders. The night was thick with tension, and he felt a fierce determination to protect Lily's legacy and uncover the truth behind her untimely death. He was not just fighting for justice, he was fighting against a sinister gang that would stop at nothing to claim her dowry. As he paced the deck, his thoughts raced. Wren knew that the safety of his passengers depended on his actions. He recalled Lily's bright laughter and radiant smile, now forever silenced. The thought of her dreams being buried beneath greed fueled his resolve. He couldn't allow her death to be in vain. Wren decided to confront the gang directly, devising a plan to intercept them before they could execute their malicious scheme. He gathered loyal crew members, instilling confidence in them despite the looming danger. Together, they prepared for an inevitable clash that would test their courage and resourcefulness. Every moment mattered as he coordinated with Agent Hargrove, sharing his findings about the gang's plan. With nerves steeled and heart racing, Captain Wren committed himself to ensuring that justice would prevail on this fateful night, honoring Lily's memory by safeguarding what she had left behind. Time was slipping away as Captain Wren sprang into action, urgency coursing through his veins. With the gang poised to move at any moment, he needed to find clues that would lead him to their hideout before they could execute their plan. He gathered his loyal crew in the dimly lit cabin and laid out what he had overheard. The gang aimed to ambush the Pinkerton agents and seize Lily's dowry gold. "Every second counts," Wren declared, determination etched on his face. "We need to search the boat and the surrounding banks for any signs of the gang or hidden clues." As they split up, he felt a surge of adrenaline propelling him forward. He combed through every corner of the Lady Liberty, checking cargo holds and hidden compartments while keeping an ear out for any signs of trouble. Suddenly, a shout from one of the crew members broke through the tense silence. "Captain! Over here!" They had stumbled upon a hidden map tucked beneath an old crate, a potential key to finding the gang's location. Wren snatched it up, studying the markings with urgency, knowing that each tick of the clock increased the danger for everyone on board. With newfound resolve, he rallied his crew, determined to confront the gang and protect Lily's legacy before it was too late. The old dockside hideout loomed ahead, shrouded in shadows and the eerie sound of water lapping against the wooden pilings. Captain Wren, flanked by members of his crew and Agent Hargrove, approached cautiously, hearts pounding with anticipation. They had followed the map to this very spot, where it was said the gang awaited their chance to flee with Lily's dowry gold. As Wren and his crew crept closer, they spotted the gang gathered around crates filled with glittering gold bars, evidence of their nefarious scheme. Just as they were about to make their presence known, the sharp crack of footsteps echoed behind them. The Pinkerton agents had arrived, blocking any escape route for the criminals. "Hands up! You're surrounded!" Agent Hargrove shouted, her voice resonating in the stillness of the night. The gang members exchanged panicked glances but quickly reached for their weapons. A tense standoff ensued as Captain Wren stepped forward, his spirit unyielding. "This ends here," he declared firmly. With a swift command, both sides sprang into action. A chaotic clash of courage and desperation erupted on the dock as Wren fought not just for justice but for Lily's legacy amidst the chaos of greed and betrayal. As the dust settled after the intense confrontation, the gang was apprehended, and justice began to emerge from the chaos. Captain Wren stood alongside Agent Hargrove as the Pinkerton agents secured the criminals and collected evidence of their crimes. The truth behind Lily's tragic fate revealed itself. Her drowning had been an unfortunate accident, compounded by a plot to exploit her dowry that put her in harm's way. With the gang's plans thwarted, Wren and his crew were able to recover the gold bars, which now lay glinting under the fading light. Rather than keeping the wealth for themselves, Wren knew what he had to do. He organized a small memorial on the riverboat, inviting all the passengers to honor Lily's memory. Together they shared stories of her kindness and dreams, reflecting on how she had touched their lives. As they laid flowers into the river, symbols of remembrance, Captain Wren felt a sense of peace washing over him. He understood that although Lily's life had been cut short, her spirit would live on in their hearts. In this way, he vowed to protect her legacy by ensuring that her story would be remembered, not just for tragedy but as a reminder of love and hope amidst darkness. As the Lady Liberty continued its journey down the river, Captain Wren reflected on the choices made by those aboard. The tragedy of Lily Sinclair's death had exposed the darker sides of human nature, greed, jealousy, and betrayal, but it also highlighted the courage and heroism that emerged in the face of adversity. Each passenger had faced their own decisions, revealing how easily one could be swayed by temptation or stand firm in their convictions. Wren considered his own choices as a captain. He had chosen to confront danger rather than flee from it, putting the safety of his passengers above his own fears. His determination to protect Lily's memory and legacy served as a guiding light amidst the murky waters of uncertainty. As he steered the boat onward, he understood that true honor lay not only in seeking justice but also in fostering a sense of community and support among those left behind. The story of Lily would live on as a reminder of both the fragility of life and the strength found in unity. In a world where greed can overshadow compassion, Wren vowed to carry forward her spirit, ensuring that her legacy inspired others to make choices rooted in love and integrity, shining brightly even in dark times.